Hello everyone, I hope you all can hear me clearly. So today in this lesson we are going to talk about comparatives and superlatives. So you might get this topic for your exam as well. You will have to write the comparative form or the superlative form of an adjective given. So we already know what adjectives are, right? We all know what adjectives are. Adjectives are the words we use to describe a noun, right? The words we use to describe a noun. For example, if we think about the noun girl, right? If we think about the noun girl, there are so many words we can use to describe this noun. For example, we can call her a good girl, a beautiful girl, a kind girl, a brave girl, a smart girl. Likewise, there are so many adjectives. So the words we use to describe the noun, we can call them adjectives. If you just in case if you all can't remember what adjectives are, we are going to watch a small video clip where they describe us about what adjectives are.
How to get the most of Grammarly free.
It's Kayla on behalf of Grammarly to tell you all about the free
ESL Library. Adjectives. What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe nouns. Adjectives can tell us information about a noun, such as the size and color. Adjectives can also tell us someone's opinion about a noun or describe how someone is feeling. For example, big cookie, yellow flowers, beautiful sunset, hungry dogs. There are two common sentence patterns for adjectives in English. The first pattern is adjective plus noun. For example, in the sentence, I have a red car, the adjective red comes before the noun car. Red describes car. The second pattern is be plus adjective. In this pattern, the adjective follows the be verb and describes the subject noun in the sentence. For example, in the sentence, the student is tired, the adjective tired follows the verb is. Tired describes student. Let's look at some more examples of adjectives in a sentence. I see a small mouse. That is an expensive car. The children are happy. The pasta is delicious. They live in a big blue house. My new boots are tall and red. Look at the picture and unscramble the words to make a sentence. Say or write the sentence. For example, the apple is red. Now you try. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I hope you all got to recap your memories regarding what adjectives are, right? So basically, if we think about them, those are the words that we use to describe a noun. So when it comes to adjectives, these adjectives can be used to compare two nouns, right? And or two actions. For example, my brother can run faster than me, right? So there is a comparison there. These adjectives can be used to compare. And also these adjectives can be used to make a superlative form. He is the fastest runner on earth. Usain Bolt is the fastest runner on earth. So he is the fastest, the super form. So from adjectives, we can create these two other forms, which are the comparative and the superlative form. So we are going to watch another video which will show you how to create the superlative and the comparative forms.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Ingvid. This lesson is for you if you make mistakes when you describe or especially when you compare people, places, or things. Now, in terms of grammar, this is a lesson about comparative or superlative adjectives. I'll explain to you exactly what that means and how we use it, okay? But in terms of real life, this lesson is really about something that you need to do in English almost every day. So let's get started. Now, let's look at the board here where I have tried to draw 3 tall men, A, B, and C. Now, if we describe these 3 people, we could say these sentences. A is tall, let's say. B is taller than A. And C is the tallest. Now, when I said A is tall, I just used an adjective, tall. That's our basic adjective. When I said taller, that is when you compare two people or places or things. So that is called the comparative adjective. It compares two things. And when we said C is the tallest, The tallest is the superlative adjective. It means the most of something, okay? In this case, the most in terms of height. So it became the tallest. So basic adjective, comparative adjective, and superlative adjective. Now, that's one way to do it, but let's look at another example. This shop is expensive, basic adjective. That shop is more expensive, the comparative adjective. And this is the most expensive shop. That's the superlative adjective, right? The most. But what's going on here? Here we said tall, taller, the tallest. Here we said expensive, more expensive, the most expensive. Something different, right? Okay, I'll explain to you exactly when you use this kind of construction and when you use this form. Hang in there. And let's look at one last example. I have a good job. You have a better job. And she has the best job. In this case, good was the basic adjective. Better is the comparative adjective between two people. And the best is the superlative adjective. Now we have something even more different, right? Good, better, and the best. So which of these do you use when? That's what you're going to learn really, really well, and in such an easy way that you will never forget it in just 1 second. Okay, so all of the examples we looked at just now were correct. So how do you decide which one to use? I'm going to show you now with a very simple chart. And what this chart shows you is that the point that matters is the adjective itself. How many syllables is it divided into? What's a syllable? It's how many parts in terms of pronunciation is the word divided into. And I will explain that to you right now. So when we look at a very short word like cold, large, hot, or dry, it has only one syllable. We say it fast, cold. We cannot say cold. We just say cold. So it has one syllable. When we say this word, happy, it has two syllables. When we say this word, intelligent, it has intelligent. 4 syllables, actually. Okay? So syllables are just how many parts the word is divided into when we can pronounce it. Now, so when we start with 1 syllable words or really short words, all you have to do is to add an ER sound. So for example, the basic adjective is cold. The comparative adjective is colder. And the superlative adjective is the coldest. Cold, colder, the coldest. Now remember when you say this one, don't just say coldest, remember to say the coldest. Whatever I've written on the board in red is what you need to add. Now, there are 2 different things. One is when you're speaking and one is when you're writing. So you will see here on the board that there are some changes you need to make in spelling. But first of all, learn what to say. Because in the saying of it, you don't need to spell anything. All right? Later, you can download a free resource that I've written that will explain to you exactly all of the changes you need to make. Also in the comparison and also in the spelling. All right? But that's later. Now let's just look at and understand the basic principles. So 1 syllable short words are just like that. Large, larger, the largest. Hot, hotter, the hottest. Dry, drier, the driest. Okay? Yes, there are spelling changes, but again, refer to the reference sheet for that. Right now, just try to get the rhythm of it, okay? Say it out loud with me. Now, the next rule is when you have a 2-syllable word which ends with Y, then we do this. So let's take this example. Happy, 2 syllables, happy, ending with Y. So we cancel the Y and we add IER, happier. Okay? Happy, happier, the happiest. This is the happiest day of my life. Okay. All right. Busy, busier, the busiest. This week I'm busy. Last week I was busier. Next week will be the busiest week of the month. Okay? Like that. So, one syllable, just basically ER or R. Two syllables ending with Y, IER, usually. And now, for every other word, which is two syllables or more, you have a different pattern, okay? So, let's take an example. Modern, modern, two syllables, right? Modern, more modern, and the most modern, okay? So now you see where this construction comes in, right? It's different from these. Here we're using more and the most. The same for any word in English, which is a little bit long. When we say two syllables, it means 2, 3, 4 syllables, definitely longer words. We're going to use this construction, okay? For example, intelligent. He's intelligent. He's more intelligent. He's the most intelligent. Okay? So more and the most, but we don't change the adjective itself. So those are the three basic things that you have to remember. If it's a very short word, just go hot, hotter, hottest. The hottest. Hot, hotter, the hottest. Okay? When you're saying the sentence, it will come to you much more naturally. Happy, happier, the happiest. Okay? And modern, more modern, the most modern. All right? That's the rule. Those are the basic rules, and that will help you with any comparative or superlative adjectives that you want to use, except for a few, really, there are not that many, a few exceptions. And down here, I've written two of the most popular and the most common exceptions. All right? There are not too many exceptions, so don't worry. But these two are very common, and you really must know them very well. Because if you make a mistake with these, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good if you're doing an exam, doesn't look good if you're going for a job interview, or if you've written your resume or a cover letter or anything like that, okay? So don't make any of these mistakes down here at all. So what are these two very popular adjectives, which are exceptions? Good and bad. So the party was good. Last week's party was better. And this is the best party I've ever been to. So here we have good, better, and the best. So the words actually change. We use different words, okay? Also, bad, worse, and the worst, okay? Bad, worse, and the worst. And remember to use that word the, all right? So these are the basic rules. These are two exceptions. There are maybe 6 or 8 more. Again, in the resource, which you can download for free from our website, I will have written for you most of them, almost all of them that really matter and which you need to know. And also, you'll be able to learn these spelling changes. But before you go away, let's check how much you've understood by doing a short quiz. Okay? Let's do that. So, as we do the quiz, remember the 3 basic rules. If it's 1 syllable, if the adjective is 1 syllable and short, give it a sound of ER. If it's 2 syllables but ends with Y, give it an IER. And if it's 2 or more syllables, then we say more something. Or if it's superlative, the most something. All right? I think you've got it. Let's get the rhythm of it now by doing some examples. Here we go. The first word, cheap. Make it comparative. Cheaper. Make it superlative. The cheapest. Cheap, cheaper, the cheapest. Good. Healthy. Healthy, healthier, the healthiest. Good. Important. Important, more important, the most important. Good. Say it along with me, okay? You might even say it before me because you know it now. Okay. Noisy. Noisy. Noisier. The noisiest. Bad. Remember that one? That's an exception. So we say bad, worse, the worst. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful, more beautiful, the most beautiful. Difficult, more difficult, the most difficult. Okay, because again, that was a long word, many syllables, right? Next one. Simple. Simple, simpler, and the simplest. Good. Remember, that's an exception also. So we say this is good, that's better, but this is the best. Okay? And helpful, helpful, more helpful, the most helpful. Okay? Try to get the rhythm of it. You know, if you get confused in any way, first take a lot of short words, one syllable words, and just do that. Like cheap, cheaper, the cheapest, you know? You'll get the rhythm of it. That way, also say it aloud because your ears will also hear the difference and hear what's correct. All right? Then take several examples from our resource sheet of the two-syllable words which end with Y and say those aloud. Happy, happier, the happiest, and so on. Okay? Friendly, friendlier, the friendliest. And then take some long words. Those are usually the easiest, so that will help you. Okay? Now, if you really want to be sure that you know this very, very well, and it is really important, then please go to our website at www.ingvid.com, and there you can do a quiz on this and also download that free resource, which can come in very handy. And okay, so if you like this lesson and you'd like to get more lessons like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and all the best with your English. Bye for now.
Okay, so I hope you all got an idea regarding what comparatives and superlatives are. This is very easy. Now, when it comes to comparatives and superlatives, there are even though it is very easy, sometimes you have to add er to make the comparative form, and to make the superlative form, you have to add est. There are some irregular forms of comparatives and superlatives as well. So those ones we have to remember. For example, I will share a list with you. Now, if you look at the comparative form of good is better, and the superlative form is best. So here you can add, this is a bit different. It's not gooder and the goodest, right? It's better and best. And also you have to remember that you have to add the article the in front of the superlative form. Bad or ill, the comparative form is worse and the superlative form is worst. Little, less, least. Small, smaller, smallest. Much or many, more and most. Far, further, furthest. Or can be again said as far, farther, farthest. Late, later, latest. Late, this is in time. Later, he came later. He was the latest, right? And order, if we are talking about the order, it is latter and the last. Near, nearer, nearest. Old, older, oldest. If we are referring to people, old, elder, eldest. Right. Okay. So I'm going to share a document with you, right? You can try to find the comparative or the superlative form of adjectives to fill in the blanks, right? There are 20 sentences here, as you can see. I want you to go through and fill in the blanks. Okay, I think we can discuss. So for the first one, my sister is, there are two people here. So it should be a comparative, not a superlative, right? My sister is more intelligent than my brother. You can't say intelligenter. That is wrong, right? You have to use more intelligent than. My sister is more intelligent than my brother. The blue whale is blank animal. So here we are talking about one. There are no two. So it's superlative, not a comparison. There are no two. So therefore we don't have to compare. The blue whale is the biggest animal. The blue whale is the biggest animal. Iceland is blank Spain. So there are two, Iceland and Spain. That means it's a comparison. Iceland is colder than Spain. Iceland is colder than Spain. Number 4. This is blank book I have ever read. So here there's only one. Only one book we are talking about. So it's not a comparison, therefore it's a superlative. The adjective they have given is good. The superlative form of good is best. So the answer should be, this is the best. This is the best book I have ever read. Number 5. My neighbor is blank person I know. We are talking about one person. So therefore it's a superlative. My neighbor is the luckiest person I know. Right? The luckiest person I know. Friday is the blank day of the week. So again, we are talking about one day, right? Just one day. Therefore, it's a superlative. Friday is the busiest day of the week. Friday is the busiest day of the week. Number 7. These trainers are much blank those. There are two here. These trainers and those. There are two. Therefore, we are comparing. These trainers are much cheaper than those. Comparison, now we have to use the comparative adjective. The comparative adjective of cheap is cheaper. These trainers are much cheaper than those. Number 8. Frank works blank most people. There is a comparison here. Frank and most people. We are comparing Frank and most people. Frank works harder than most people. Frank works harder than most people. Number 9. I'm blank at English than you. There is a comparison here. I and you. මාවයි ඔයාවයි compare කරනවා. I am better at English than you. Number 10. Today has been blank day of the year. We are talking about one, right? So it should be the superlative form. Today has been the hottest day of the year. Today has been the hottest day of the year. This is blank CD I have ever listened. Again, just one. We are talking about one. This is the worst CD I've ever listened. The superlative form of bad is worst. This is the worst CD I've ever listened. Number 12. English is blank Japanese. Okay, so again, we are comparing English and Japanese, right? So it should be the comparative form. English is easier than Japanese. English is easier than Japanese. Number 13. Which mountain is blank in the world? We are talking about one. So it should be the superlative form. Which mountain is the highest in the world? Which mountain is the highest in the world. Number 14. John is blank his brother. A comparison is there. John and his brother. We are comparing these two people. So it should be John is cleverer than his brother. John is cleverer than his brother. Number 15. English is blank Latin. English is blank Latin. We are again comparing two, English and Latin, right? We are comparing the two, English and Latin. English is more useful than Latin. English is more useful than Latin. Number 16. What is blank word in English? We are talking about one, right? We are talking about one. What is the most common word in English? We have to use the superlative form. The superlative form of common is the most common. You can't say commonest. That is wrong. What is the most common word in English? Number 17. The Nile is blank river in the world. We are talking about one. So it should be the superlative form. Nile is the longest river in the world. The Nile is the longest river in the world. Number 18. This is my blank brother. Elder brother. Right? Wada වැඩිමල් කියනකොට we say elder. This is my elder brother. Mary is their eldest daughter or oldest, you can say. Number 90. That skyscraper is one of blank buildings in the city. One of Usama, right? One of the tallest buildings in the city. The first exercise was easy, but this one is more difficult. We are comparing the first exercise and this one. So it should be the comparative form. The first exercise was easy, but this one is more difficult. Okay, let's move on to the next few. Can you find the answers? So here you can go through the answers, right? I hope you all have understood the lesson properly. So just always remember that there are a list of words that you have to study when it comes to comparatives and superlatives, and the others we can create by just adding er or est, right? And we have to use the article the with the superlative form. So I hope you all have understood the lesson clearly, right? So thank you for joining, and have a great day.